So this is very important. I was saying part of the outcomes of this project. Why? Because we have the systems, and the question is what do I need to implement if I am a system that I only process laboratory data, or I only do patient summaries? Do I need to implement the imaging and the prescriptions and the dispensations and all the whatever it is in the format? Of course not. But then how do we define this? And that was all about in the conformity framework. So first we needed to understand what is an EHR system and what kinds of EHR systems do they exist, to define them, and what are the parameters to define or to separate or to identify them. And then when we do this, then we need to go one step further and say, okay, you do this as a system, and therefore you need to comply to these requirements. So it was a lot of discussions. We changed many ideas. We involved stakeholders. We involved the subgroups, the health network on this, and we ended up with this deliverable. But what is most important here in the conformity framework, according to my opinion, is the scoped conformance. This is what I say. So what is the scope of your system, and identify the scope, and then find the interoperability component or the requirements that you need to comply to. So this is the question that needs to be answered. And I think it is very important there to also see it together with the work of other deliverables. So this work is not going alone, and it takes from work package 6 and 7, taking the specifications for the format, but it also takes from work package 5 when it comes into how systems will exchange documents or resources or both, etc. So it is a collaborative work here. So this is what I said. It delivers a specification layer, which makes later the specifications to be testable. And this is where the work of 8.2 comes with the testable assertions. Here I have some examples on the classification, which is based on data categories. As you well know, in the regulation, we have 5 priority categories, but also we separate the functional role, a producer, a consumer, exchanger. Of course, this will be said later by Hinek when he will explain the obligations. But then this is what we define here, and what profiles apply in which context etc. So we have the system, then we need to classify the system. When we classify the system, we need to identify which interoperability profiles need to comply to, and then we have the obligations, which, because we don't want the systems to comply to the entire patient summary, but we, at the beginning, at least at this stage, to have a set of data elements to comply to, and then just to start with, to start exchanging, and then gradually, probably and hopefully, will expand the obligations into the full set. So that was the idea. Making interoperability testable. This is what I said before. And why it matters: it enables certification and labeling, consistent interoperability across the European Union. It ensures semantic integrity, safe data reuse. And after testing, we will be having the certification, EHDS certification.